Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 52 of the What the Sheep podcast, where myself and Alana will be discussing and breaking down Exandria Unlimited episode 2. Man, things are getting real spicy and mysterious in episode 2. I'm definitely excited. What's going on with Little Misters, and what's going on with all of this fire elemental stuff?
That was unexpected.
It's crazy. And I'm sure all of our questions will be answered, hopefully, by the end of this series. But let's start from the very beginning of this episode with the sort of chase sequence that happened. Our heroes, our intrepid heroes, were being pursued by probably more of these, the Nameless ones, I think is what they're called. And they came across two. One by the name of Arthur, and the other by the name of Left. I think they pretty much just left. It's just left.
Was he right? It was Arthur.
Or was he right? I can't remember. But Arthur is the important one.
Yes.
Because our very own Opal went on a little date, or they had a little experience. They had a lovely little time, and I just love the way that Amy is playing Opal. Because she plays Opal as like a very like modern character, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And it works so perfectly for how like Opal is and how she like fits into the group and stuff and has been interacting. It's just been so funny and so charming to see Opal's character handle these different scenarios that they find themselves in.
Yeah, and I think it's also speaking some volumes about Abria as a DM, the way she's like. A lot of her playstyle, it seems, is just making sure the players are having fun.
Yeah.
Her really improv and her yes and is very much about, how can this be fun?
Yeah.
So when you have charm person and then the charm person devolves into, we're going on a date and this guy might be into bondage. It's like they're kind of like adding on to the fun just because it's fun. And so I really enjoyed that because I mean, rules is written are great as well, but sometimes you can like have
you can have a little fun with it. You can have fun with it. Yeah.
So
and that's cool. That is a really nice thing about Abria's DMing, and she also likes to throw out inspiration a lot. She did it a few times this episode,
that's good.
And I think that's a good thing. I think at least in my experience, even myself as like a DM, like I always forget that like inspiration is a mechanic, and so I forget to like give it out because it's a really cool way to like reward players for either coming up with something interesting or
I think
random
it's just been so baked into bards that I do forget that DMs can just give it out when they feel like it.
The DMs are the ultimate bard, pretty much.
True.
Pretty much what it is. Ultimate inspiration.
But no, that whole scenario was great. Like them trying to escape. I liked Darrex's attempt to like throw his voice and get them off the trail, which I think he like rolled pretty well for, but it didn't seem to work out anyway. But it's just it was cool to see a little bit more of their techniques and their powers come out a little bit. And I think I'm not going to say favorites or anything, but I'm really enjoying Dorian.
Me too.
The way he was like using the guard and then just took an attack. I think that it's gonna sound stupid. These guys would be great for like an animated series. Just a chaotic energy.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
If they did after screw animated Mighty Nine, after they do the Legends of Vox Machina, just do the Legends of Exandria Unlimited.
Yeah.
And so we can see this chaotic bunch animated. I can't wait for like all of the like animatics that are gonna come out of this show from just like the critters in general. There's already been a few popping up, which is incredible since it's only been a week or 2 weeks ish since it's been out.
Ridiculous.
The critter community never ceases to amaze me with the things they're able to produce.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for Arthur, his funtivities of the evening were cut short.
Just they were leaving him and he was fine and combat was over and just the kind of glancing eldritch blast at the end.
The blowing of the kiss, very very flavorful.
I feel like that's so typically Warlock of finishing the job. But yeah, no, I thought that was interesting that how they were posing as guards, or how at least they were in the position of guards. It's kind of lending more credence to this organization is quite organized, and is probably going to be. Well, I guess we didn't assume they weren't going to be important, but like that's pretty big deal if they're able to influence at least this section of the city that way.
Right.
So I'm excited to see now that they're heading back to Emon, not to jump ahead, but now that they're heading back, that we see more interaction with organization. I want to know more about the class and the Myriad's involvement. Like, is this just the off-brand of that fight, or are they like something new separate to that? Because I love all that kind of underworld stuff.
And obviously as a main, criminal underground, a crime syndicate, the Clasp and the Myriad, if there is all of a sudden like a third up and coming, criminal gang, so to speak, and they're pulling some pretty big moves in the city, you're probably going to want to either put a stop to it or try to get them to join in on the stuff that you've got going on. So I would be surprised if they weren't at least aware of what these nameless ones are doing, or if they aren't connected in some way with what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, I have to see, because because the Myriad and all of this crime stuff isn't the only mysterious things that have happened in this episode. There was a lot of
the elemental
the elemental stuff that's happening, and then once they were able to leave the city and they were all taking their rest and their watches, we uncovered a few interesting things. First, I think the most important being is that the circlet that they are carrying with them is a vestige.
Yeah.
It is a vestige of Lolth, the Spider Queen.
Cut to me last week saying, I don't think it'll be a vestige. Like, yes.
No.
I'm guessing it's the... I don't... I should bring it in this early. No, that's even more funnier, because I think giving level 2s access to a vestige, that one they can't possibly comprehend using. But just that has this kind of pull and has such a negative effect on the good aligned characters. It's really exciting, actually. And the fact that there's this subtle kind of... Because the vestiges themselves have such strong... Not so much personality. They're not cursed in a way that they have, like, an entity inside them. But the fact that there is this, like, influence on each of the characters. I loved Dorian's watch when he could hear, like, faint music and he started playing along. And it was like,
that was really cool.
Pleased with his playing. It's like, ooh, no. Like, that doesn't seem good. That seems bad.
But that's also it's one of those things where I love a Bria for it, because it's such a cool like DM moment where it's not even like a mechanic of the item. It's just like, okay, Dorian's playing like a cool song that goes along with this melody. Let's roll with this. Let's see if we make something of this. And then getting rid of the sick feeling that he was getting when he was around it is a really cool way. A cool like DM flavor thing just to throw in there. Very, very cool.
We got also, I think it was either when they were leaving Emon, or it was during the night, but some more bit of lore about Fearne as well, and kind of what her is. So it's I'm a little confused at some parts, but I've been reading about it. A few people are confused just about the sequence of events, and I think it's because they did the session 0, or they did the pre-games that had these characters, or at least some of these characters, in Emon doing something with the crater. Because I think when they said, we'd done some pre-games, I was like, that must be like a completely separate thing. I didn't even consider that it might have been an actual session 0. So there are things that have happened that they're referencing that we don't know about. So I think that, including it with also a week missing in memory, is where my main confusion came from. But Fearne's from the Feywild. That's so cool. I mean, I think that was probably obvious. She's a fawn, but I think it was really cool her talking about how she got here and then remembering it and having that kind of clarity in her memory. I'm excited to see more. Her grandmother sounds awesome. I hope she's not a hag.
A grandma fawn. Super cute. But I like the idea that the chat went crazy last night during the live stream when Fearne was describing how she got here through the gate, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, Artagan's gate! They went through Artagan's gate."
I see that too.
Which is cool, because that was another thing that I wanted to just mention, is that it's cool seeing the lasting impact of some of the things that have happened in Campaign 1. For example, like, obviously, Thordak's crater is still playing a huge role in what's going on. And obviously, Artagan's Gate is still playing a huge role. It's just cool. It makes the world feel more alive when, even, 30 years after these events have happened, there's still, the effects are still being felt. The consequences are still being felt. Which is pretty cool. And it makes sense, too. But it's just cool.
Yeah, I thought that was very neat. And it does kind of add to the realism of the world of it's not tidied up so neatly when you just kill the monster and he's gone. Yeah. There are these lingering, like the area outside of the city is actually like literally called Thordak Scar, or well, I don't get that wrong, but it's something Scar. Mm-hmm. So it is like the land has been affected by this creature. Yeah, so to see now like something strange happening with the elements and the planes involved. Is there some kind of like elemental chaos?
Ooh, is this some is this hinting at the plane rider Rin stuff about the celestial alignments and things like because she was researching in the elemental plane of fire.
Yeah, when was that meant to I don't know.
I don't know.
Because when you got to think, when did Abria start writing this and planning for this? If that was in line with that happened, but that's still kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because we never really got a date on when the convergence was going to be, did we?
I don't think so.
Oh wow. We need purely to make a theory video on this.
Yep. The celestial stuff. Moon video part 3. Let's get it going.
Fire.
But no, I'm
cool.
intrigued. I'm intrigued by all this crazy stuff that's going on. But also another interesting thing that happened during this night's watch was Opal's dream about. Okay. So I'm kind of confused. So Ted is her patron, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I guess so.
Or at least akin to a patron, because she is the one who is able to give it Opal. But is Opal is Ted her sister? Because a sister was mentioned a few times, but then also I think the being that was talking to her was Ted.
She keeps referring to Ted as her twin sister.
Okay.
And then Ted is seemingly the creature that gives her her powers. But the way she references Ted makes it sound as if like she's at home, like she's living, like she's alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like she said in the first episode that she was dead.
Yeah.
But we also don't know, because I think we think she's a Hexblade warlock because she's doing like Hexblade curse and all that.
Mm-hmm.
There could be any kind of fuckery going on, and she could be a different type of warlock. But I'm guessing it was her sibling. Here's my theory. I think it was her sibling that died and now is being impersonated by an evil spirit. Or not even evil, but some kind of spirit. Or it is still the spirit, but it's weird.
It's like twisted. It's
because the stinger at the end, which I forgot about, and I had to go back and watch.
Yeah, I think I had it pulled up.
Ooh.
On my Twitter. I wanted to know for sure. Yeah, crit roll stats. And not to jump ahead or anything, but this is what was said in the end credit scene. At the very end, not to jump ahead, but at the very end of the episode.
We don't jump ahead on the show.
So much at the end that it happened after it ended.
This is the ultimate jump ahead.
This is the ultimate jump ahead. This is like the summary of what was said. Ted watches from a dark place, seething with frustration, love, and duty, but definitely frustration. She will cave. She will always protect her sister from the world, from herself, always. Now go ahead.
When I first heard it, when I heard she will cave, I thought she was talking about Opal, but I think she must be talking about herself.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like,
Well,
she's like, "Oh, fine, you get your powers back," kind of thing. Like, she
yeah.
will eventually have to
Hmm.
cave. But the protector from herself, like, is that just overly protective sister stuff,
Hmm.
or is that there's something more menacing about Opal
It's the
and
yeah.
her abilities? Like, what's
Ooh.
going on?
I'm feeling there's some darkness surrounding Opal, and I feel like all of this like bubbly, very positive, excited energy is just a front to attempt to heavily mask or obscure the darkness within. I feel like there's
That's
gonna be
good.
some. I feel like there's gonna be a major twist with Opal.
Yeah. The the there's something I want to know more details about how this party got together, because if you think
Hmm.
about it, it's a really, like, as far as D&D parties go, it's a pretty bizarre party.
Yeah,
You've got like an air genasi, you've got a fawn, you've got a divine soul sorcerer, and a warlock. Like, I know that warlocks are common because we play D&D a lot, but a warlock in reality, if you're living in a D&D world and there's a warlock, like, yes, I made a pact with like this elder
yeah,
evil or something. Like, that's strange,
that is,
even for
yeah,
me. Like, and I live in Waterdeep, but like, when you think about it, then you've got like, a halfling fighter. Like, whew, okay, whew,
yeah. Nice,
that's
nice, normal,
on my level.
normal.
But it is an interesting party. Their makeup is like
Yeah,
very exciting. um,
it is.
So I want to know more about how they got together, how each of them kind of met, and yeah, just like how they decided to form this party. I know they're kind of now a party through circumstance of,
Yeah,
"Ooh, we've got this thing we don't like, we need to figure out what to do with it." Um,
it sounds like they kind of formed at the crater. It
yeah,
seemed like something called each of them to the crater. Orym
yeah,
with the fire Ashari stuff, Fearne with I guess just being a druid and attuned to nature. Not sure
yeah,
about the other ones. I mean, with the evil stuff that's going on with Opal potentially, there could be some nefarious stuff going
yeah.
on there to call her there. Um, Dariax being a
Derek,
divine soul, there might be more like divine power
yeah,
going there. I'm not so sure about Dorian though.
Darian, Dorian,
Um,
damn it, keep calling him
Doriax,
Darian.
Doriax, Darian.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's but I don't know. But it seemed like each
yeah.
of them had a a call to action to go to this
Oh,
crater. Oh,
there
what do you
was a
guys?
bit too. Um, when they were talking about Lolth, when they were talking about the Spider Queen, and Dorian said was talking about before his people fell.
Yes, I did. I made note of that. Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Like, there's not much lore about Genasi in Exandria, but is he talking about Genasi, or is he talking about like his hometown? Or
Hmm.
I that was the thing that kind of stuck out to me the whole episode. It's like, I want to know more about what he just said then.
Yeah,
Um, that's
yeah.
really
That caught me off
exciting.
guard when he said that. Because he
Yeah.
even said it so subtly too. Like it wasn't even like he wasn't even trying to draw attention to what he said.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah,
now that makes
and
me even more
maybe it is
intrigued.
a big deal, but I was just like, that sounds really exciting because, yeah,
Yeah.
because we don't have much lore about Genasi in this world. So, and everyone that we've seen so far, I think we've seen like, I'm not going to count. It'll take too long to actually think. I think there's at
Mhm.
least 4 we've seen. Um,
Yeah.
and we've seen like one of each element too, which is pretty cool. None of them have been like obviously living in any kind of Genasi commune, which generally Genasi don't, but there's been no kind of there's been no
Yeah.
community of Genasi.
Hmm.
It's been all singular people that are just out in the world.
Hmm.
So it'd be kind of cool if there was some elemental chaos coming into this
Yeah.
mini campaign, because that's always cool. The element of chaos is a fun place.
Yeah. No, that's very true. But yeah, I'm so intrigued by all of these characters. I can't wait to get more like Orym and Dariax stuff.
Yeah,
I wonder what Dariax's deal with being a divine soul is, given his very,
yeah.
frat boy nature. I wonder what pulled him to the divine.
Well, he seems very like divine soul sorcerer. It's that kind of thing that you're born with.
Hmm.
So he seems like to have just naturally accepted this as a part of himself. Uh,
Yeah.
because he doesn't draw too much attention to the fact that he's a
Hmm.
spellcaster or that like he's, you know, a sorcerer in any sense. And I can't remember what his charisma score is, but the way he plays him is charming. It's just that kind of goofy charming, which is so fun to see Matt play because it is.
Oh, like, it's so good.
Such a good character trait. He's not so much inflated, but like his false sense of confidence is adorable. Because he is confident, but it is kind of coming from the wrong places. It's just like, yeah, I can do this. Like
confident for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and it's so great to see him play off Orym, who's quite like quiet and reserved. Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying the characters. They're very interesting, and yeah, it's a charismatic group of actors playing very charismatic characters.
It really is.
So it's been really fun to watch.
Oh yeah, and I mean, so far, Liam's character Orym, as far as we know, is not a sad character, which would be a first.
Reserved.
Reserved, yes. Orym is very reserved. I'm just waiting till like episode 8 when he's gonna like unload his backstory and it's gonna be the most tragic thing we've ever heard. He's like,
no.
There's Liam. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, but
he's good. I like Orym. He's a lot of fun.
Orym is the rock that this group needs, the little halfling fighter.
Yeah. He's playing the kind of the small folk very well, of just the bad things happen because you're small, like getting tangled up. And just like, okay, this is this is what's happening.
And I did really like the apparent connection he has with like Keyleth and Vox Machina.
Yeah.
Because what it sounds like is that Orym was just, as he said in game, it was just like a guard. Like maybe it was just stationed in Zephyra, you know, when Vox Machina was there and stuff, and it was just, you know, watching over them and stuff, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Seeing those little Vox Machina drops.
And he has some understanding of what it was all about, but doesn't like know anyone personally. I do like pseudonym just put in chat. He does have connections to Kiki though, so that's pretty Liam of Liam.
True.
Yeah.
True.
That's good.
Yep. But it's
true too.
Sorry,
Erica in chat just says he has some tragedy there. He mentioned something that sounds like he's no longer part of the Ashari, was vanished or lost his post or something. So from what I gather, he's been sent by the Air Ashari to commune with the Fire Ashari, but he is missing that week of thing that's happened. But I've picked up on that too. It does seem like he's a little bit separate from the Air Ashari, maybe. Like it could just be because he's a level 2 guard and he doesn't have the clearance level to know everything that's going on.
He's got level 0 clearance.
Yeah, because I think if we compare him to say like what's his name? What's the fighter Liam played in the one shot?
Oh,
Derek.
Derek.
Yeah. Like that was like a level. What was he like a level 17 fighter of the Air Ashari? So I think like comparing the two of them, you're like, oh yeah, that guy would be in the know compared to this small little level 2. That's although important enough to send on a mission to meet with the sister tribe. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Really. I like it. I think he's sweet.
I know I'm sad that we only have 8 episodes because I'm so interested in all of these characters' stories. And I mean, we could very well get basically all of them or most of them figured out by the end of the series.
Yeah.
But even if we don't
die at the end.
Which one? Oh, if they all die?
Die at the end. Oh. Like that could be.
I mean, in a short series like this, like in a series such as Exandria Unlimited, character death is very much on the table.
They're level 2, and if we can assume maybe that they level up to maybe level 5 by the end of it, if they go quickly, they won't really have any kind of revivify until the end.
Yeah, that's.
I'm sure Darius could get revivify. I'm sure he could pick that spell. But either way, like, this is the dead zone that they're currently in.
It's true. Low levels are dangerous. That is
Yeah.
that is a spooky territory to be in. I mean, like when jumping ahead a little bit, when Fearne was climbing up the mountain and fell and took 6 damage, that's like half her health gone.
That's a lot.
That's she's like basically dead. So yeah, it's even small things like that.
Coming from the Mighty Nine, where like they could take 70 points of damage in a round, you're like, oh wow, that's no good. But they're still good. They're still they can still manage. Yeah, no, it's wild to go back to level 2 and they're being so low.
Yeah. It's terrifying. It's terrifying, especially since they're dealing with, you know, like elementals and this vestige of Lolth. You know, they're dealing with very powerful things. Yeah. So it's a bit concerning.
I do like that. Is it like Lagatha or Logatha?
Oh yeah,
the leader of the Fire Shari. I don't think it is Lagatha, but I've watched too much.
I think I have Lorgathar. Lorgathar.
Okay. How she's kind of just like they're asking questions. She's like, "What? I don't know." Like,
why are you?
Just happened. Why are you?
This is why we're here to figure out what's going on. I don't already know.
Making probably the terrible decision to send these guys to investigate it in the city when they're just like, hey, we're not allowed in the city anymore. And it's like, all right, back you go. So
by the way, we murdered a bunch of people, so
that was good.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, they're a very exciting crew in terms of, one, their potential abilities, and two, just how stupid's a strong word. They're not stupid. They are
chaotic, stupid in the kindest, most affectionate way we can possibly say.
Yeah. They have other things.
There are no negatives when I say that word stupid. None.
Yeah.
It's just
because they're definitely not stupid. It's just they're
very headstrong.
Less equipped to deal with their current circumstances.
Yeah. But hey, I mean they're pretty much taking everything they can, and running with it, because especially they did eventually get to the Fire Shari camp, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and again Orym wanting to follow his mission or whatever he was told to do, and wanting to contact Keyleth and the other people in Zephyra about the residuum stuff that's been going on, the stealing of shipments. But then it was actually interesting that they decided not to talk about the vestige.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought for certain Orym would want to do that. But I
and he was definitely leaning towards it, but the others convinced him otherwise.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping in Campaign 3 that we don't get anyone connected to the Ashari, because it is that kind of thing of like, something's going wrong, let me contact my level 20 leader. Like, it can be hard in that sense, I think, to play a character like that and not then want to fall back to, well, this is bad, let me get the person that I know can fix this.
That makes sense.
So I think it gets a little, not so much trick in the roleplay, because I think they did that very well, of him leaning into wanting to say and the rest being like, oh, like, no. So I think they did that really well, but it is that kind of like curse of playing an Ashari member of like, well, I would just tell Keyleth this.
But it's also, I mean, like it's, I love Keyleth being like the voice of the Tempest is what it is, right? That's what she is essentially, what her title is. But again, I mean, like being a major player like that, not only like in your own campaign, but in the grand scheme of the world of Exandria, holding that position is very important. You're a very important figure in the goings on and stuff. Now I'm wondering, because for campaign 3, I obviously have the running theory that it's going to be their last one, and people have been throwing out in chat and in the community and stuff that what if like at the end of campaign 3 it turned into like an Avengers Endgame scene and stuff, where like Vox Machina, Mighty Nine, and the new group, they're all teaming up for all this stuff. But like, what if with all of this, like the Celestial Alignment stuff that's going on, the weird planar elemental stuff that's going on, what if, and because they're wanting to inform Keyleth on everything that's going on, what if Keyleth then like investigates it on her own, but then gets like lost in like the planes and stuff and gets like captured or something. And then like at the end of campaign 3, it's like a race to like save Keyleth as like the planes are crashing together as the stars align and the world's gonna end and they all need to come together.
I could see that kind of Avengers style team up of like, you know, just Keyleth standing by herself facing the horde,
Yep.
and then like all the teleportation and Box Bucket turn up. The campaign 3 characters turn up, and then like they all look to this empty platform, and no one turns up, and it just cuts to like the Mighty Nine doing whatever the fuck they do. Like we've done this already. We're out.
They're at like their summer camp for the young adventurers. That's what they're doing at that point.
Yeah, I could just see like the unread mail in Veth's mailbox of hey,
just
we need
overflowing.
Your help.
Oh god, that is now my bold prediction.
Write fan fiction, but that's
right. Someone get on it. Someone get on it right now. We need it. But no, it was cool because things are picking up very quickly in this miniseries, and again, it almost has to because it is a miniseries. But waking up to, she described it as like there were like purple streaks in the like jagged streaks in the sky. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
There's like something weird in the sky, and then there was a massive like mesa that just appeared. It's there.
Yeah. So that's weird, like because there was that kind of description of the red purple fire throughout as well.
Yeah.
So there's something to do. There's some meaning behind the color. Like it's very deliberate because she's not just saying there's a lot of fire everywhere. She's specifically describing it as red purple fire. Purple is a color of Lolth? Like I don't know if that's connected, but
could be.
Lolth isn't connected with the fire plane or like anything fire related.
That's true. So it's like, what is going on?
Unless it's like a team of Lolth and Thordak. Like, I don't think it's Thordak. I don't think Thordak's involved. Or what if?
What if?
No, I don't think Thordak's involved.
Barristan.
Don't do me. I can't.
But I mean, it could be some stuff that the Betrayer gods have been working on, and this is like Lolth's thing. He's now trying to mess with like the elemental planes.
Yeah,
and stuff. I'm not
and
sure.
she might not even be involved.
That's true.
Her divergence is there. Her divergence.
Yeah, her rest. Yeah, well, yeah. Lolth could just be like some like random like subplot to this whole thing, or maybe the this planar stuff is the subplot, and then the Lolth stuff is the main plot. We don't really know. There's a lot of different things that they could do. Yeah. Come to the What the Sheep podcast, where we have all the answers for everything. We leave all the guessing work to us because we've got it all.
Yeah. Everything we say is canon.
Yep. True. Listen, I was half expecting them to get to the top of the mesa, and what would you? There he is, Vandarin having his cookout, the top of the mesa. There he is. It only took a mini series for it to happen, but
exactly where we said he would be in our series.
Yep. But I actually did originally think that when this mesa appeared, because we're dealing with the elemental plane of fire and stuff like that. I actually don't even know if it's connected to the elemental plane of fire. But I was like, is this like a volcano? Did like a volcano just appear in the middle of this area?
I was thinking volcano too, but I guess that's just a plot.
But luckily, I mean,
but it's there, like it's big and it's sticking around by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
In Mon, like, why would you live in a Mon? Bad things happen there.
The property tax must be pretty low. It must be pretty cheap living in Mon.
You're just looking at your window one day, looking to the plains and the horizon beyond. And you're like, is that a plateau? Like,
it's like you're almost like you get like a big tax break anytime like a cataclysmic event happens. It's like, all right, you get a bunch of write-offs come tax season because of all the stuff that happens.
And I mean, worst of all is all the gentrification. Like, it's just non-stop in the lower parts of the city. Yeah.
No good. Good.
I do like, chat is bringing up how, with the vestige, how it was on that particular ship. So it was on the Blight Star from Isildra. So I'm thinking cult. We're thinking cult. Cult
Probably.
stuff.
It's probably cult related.
Cult of lol.
Especially
Cult lol.
this is where Tharizdun is connected. This is where Tharizdun is connected because remember we've been thinking like, what if like because Blightstar is a name for Ruidus, the smaller red moon, and we're always like, yo, is this like Tharizdun's cage or something? So Blightstar linked to Ruidus, linked to Tharizdun, the vestige for Lolth, the betrayer gods are up to some shit. Maybe.
Just the one.
No.
Ted. Tharizdun starts with a T.
Tharizdun.
Tharizdun. Yep. In this case.
Yeah, and there it is. There it is, everyone. Like I said, we have all the answers for you here.
It's like police. Stop the chain of living.
Someone had to say it. Someone had to call us out.
Straightforward.
Yep.
Stop.
Someone, yeah. They're reminding us who we are. Listen, we will always be ride or die Tharizdun. It's one of the constants. But
yeah.
I mean, hey, we're gonna be right. Like, I'm just so confident. Like I said, eventually a clock is right twice a day, so we'll be right eventually. It's like in I don't know if you're familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
But in the episode of the fortune teller, how the fortune teller told the man that if you wear these special red shoes every day, you will meet the love of your life while you're wearing these red shoes, and he wears them every day. So of course it's gonna happen. Look, there it is. It's just like that. It's just like that. We just keep every day. We just keep saying Tharizdun is connected. Then as soon as he is, it's like we were right the whole time. So
yeah, exactly. Love the reference.
I need to do another rewatch of Avatar very soon. It's I
watched it with my mom recently. She loved it.
It's so good. It's such a comfy, cozy show to just go back to and watch.
The reason it's my favorite show by far.
Oh yeah.
It is like it's so good.
Yep. Yeah, this is now an Avatar podcast.
Oh my god!
Everyone who spoiler. We go through every single episode. Oh my god, so good.
I could. I forgot about it.
I could go through every single episode. Because every episode's just so good. Except we don't talk about the Great Divide. We don't talk about the.
But even then,
even that episode is pretty good. Even then, I actually really enjoy that episode. I don't know. I don't understand all the hate for that episode.
No joke. As a kid, it was my favorite episode until season 2 came out because I was just like, "There's earthbending in this episode."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, Exandria Unlimited, everyone. Episode 2 discussion podcast. But eventually, yeah. So they decide to climb up this mesa to figure out what the heck is going on top of it.
Yeah.
And luckily they are able to get there. I did like the funny moment of Orym and Dorian rolling really high on their athletics check to climb, and they're just like parkouring up this mountain and stuff. Was you know, I love little comedic moments like that. They really add flavor to the characters, and it's just fun D&D.
Yeah,
which reminds us we're playing D&D.
I liked Opal and Fearne going up their own path, and then the guys going up their own path, and then not being able to see each other. That led to like a fun interaction of like someone coming towards us.
Yep.
It reminded me of
right.
SpongeBob. It reminded me of SpongeBob, where it's like the is it the Stranglers? Oh god, this reference off the chain, but like just like saying he's coming towards me, like it's him. Like
yeah.
Oh
my god. That was really good. But the points of exhaustion that they were picking up from the smoke is rough. Real rough, because exhaustion gets bad real fast.
They just kept talking.
Yeah.
They just kept
they're an extroverted bunch. They have to talk. They gotta talk things out.
And I enjoy that Dorian can just hold his breath indefinitely.
Yeah. That was
makes sense.
That was nice. Yeah, I actually forgot that they could do that. It makes sense. We got our windy boy. Our windy boy is able to his breath. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? But I like
I feel like I
how
missed
the
that.
more
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this was an Abria thing or if Matt had done this for the Ashari. How they have like their own like language through like hand signals and stuff.
Yeah, that's
I thought
cool.
that
I
was
like
really
that.
cool. Whether it was
It
Matt
is.
or Abria, it's a really cool idea, regardless of
Yeah, yeah.
who
I thought that
created
was
it.
sweet. I think is Ashari a language you can learn? I think Ashari might be a
Is it?
like.
Oh,
Gosh, I don't know.
I always thought it was just
I can
like
look it up.
their
I,
culture
I
or their
vaguely remember.
religion or something.
Yeah, I vaguely remember there being something about how like Ashari is a language that you can have.
Oh,
Um, ooh,
that'd be cool.
I just opened up to a page called Cinder Slag Elemental.
Oh,
Cinder Slag Elementals are pure manifestations of the hatred and fury of the deceased Cinder King. Even in death, Thordax fires manage to ravage him on. This thing's all about
oh
elementals at
shit! Wow, we flipped to the
Thordax
right
Crater.
page. Flipped to the
Yeah.
exposition page. Dang.
Yeah, beyond Thordax Crater, the scar of the Cinder King is a breeding ground for more of these mindless elementals.
Oh, this is probably just more of that. It's getting worse.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's not good at all. What else is one page to turn to? Okay, I'm gonna keep looking for the language. But yeah,
Yeah, no.
yeah,
But yeah, taking constant points of exhaustion is very, very rough. But then eventually coming to the center-ish of this mesa and finding the elemental symbol that's been emblazoned
yeah,
on the ground.
yeah, and I think Logatha, whatever her name is, sorry, that sounds really dismissive. I can't remember her name. Lagatha. I'm going to call her Lagatha. Lagatha.
Lorgathar.
Damn it, Logatha. Okay. I feel like she was kind of pushing for like, did anyone get a look at the symbol? Like,
Oh yeah.
I felt like there might have been like some lore hidden behind that interaction, but they just like, nope,
Hmm.
we didn't. Like,
Yeah.
uh, so.
Well, I think didn't they draw it out for
Oh, did they? They
her?
might have.
I think they did, but I think she didn't even know. Anyways.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind then. Ignore me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
They
can't.
definitely did draw something in the ash. You're right.
Yes. Yeah. They
Yeah.
did do that. But I thought it was cool how they added just for flavor that Fearne is like immune to the fire
Yeah.
of Little Mister and whatever this symbol was giving off. Seems to be immune to its deadly nature. But it's interesting that I totally forgot that Little Mister's was from Thordax Crater. That's how she got him. And then seeing him then revert to his more fiery elemental form and then being drawn to this thing.
Yeah, kind of corrupted by it.
Yeah, maybe Little Mister is going to be the big bad. This
Well, I think that kind of plays into the theory that this is fireplane
mhm.
related, which isn't a huge leap for anyone to make, I don't think.
No.
But like the fact that it is some kind of remnant of Thordax magic, he was trapped in
Mhm.
the fireplane for years, decades.
Yeah.
And this is a native of the fire elemental plane, like
Mhm.
reacting strongly to it. So I think we're going to see some kind of plain bullshit happen.
Just some plain bullshit happening.
Some plain bullshit happening. Yeah. But no, but it's hard to think of how. Like, do the nameless ones even really play into this, or were they kind of just set up to get the party to the fire Ashari for this to happen? Like,
Yeah. I don't know.
they
Like,
could be small potatoes compared to whatever's happening with.
mhm. Yeah, it's crazy how many different threads there are in only 2 episodes, and how is everything connected?
Yeah,
Um,
and
because
I
it
think for a
because
short campaign that it's kind of working because
yeah,
it's like you've got to just go to these places, you just got to do it.
hmm
You got to tell the story,
yeah,
rather than letting it, develop
hmm
naturally, or like more naturally, I guess would be the way I'd say.
yeah,
So yeah, so I'm enjoying it because it is like, all right, we know exactly what we're doing next. We know what we need to do. I like
hmm
that. Um, Yeah, but it's exciting to see what's going to happen when they go back to Vermont, if the Nameless ones are still going to be on their tail, which I feel like they will. I don't think that's something that's just going to
I
go
don't think they're
away.
just gonna. Yeah.
Especially if they've still got the vestige with them. Especially if Darrick's is walking around with black eyes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Darrick's.
That's gonna wear off.
They got black eyes now. I wonder. I don't think the Ashari, the fire Ashari, realized that he had the black eyes, but.
They're just like, we're going to ignore that.
Yeah, I choose not to see. I
Yeah.
choose not to see that.
But that's concerning as well.
Yeah. And
I feel like he'd be the most prepared to use the vestige in like a moment of desperation. So letting him keep it, probably not the best idea.
I wonder if it's like one of those things where I haven't looked into this item at all. I'm sure it has like its whole like, you know, stat block page and stuff and all that. So I'm not sure if like prolonged, you know, exposure to this causes different effects, or like touching it more or actually putting it on causes things to happen.
Not specific to this one, but I think in general the vestiges from the betrayer gods, I'm not sure it would like go for Dariax. Like maybe it would if it thinks it could corrupt him, but generally they're sought out by like more evil people.
Gotcha.
So, but I could be a thing of like, I mean, Lolth is like, she's a trickster and she's you know all about bringing people in. So that's what that was. So
it was the spider pincers bringing them in. It was
so it could be it could be something in that vein of like he might not be the ideal candidate, but she could work with this.
Is Lolth like a genuinely like chaotic, like lawful evil being? Like obviously she's a betrayer god, but like I don't really know the lore of like Lolth, but like for whatever reason I really never saw her as like a pure evil being.
She's bad.
Okay.
She's real bad. Yeah, she's she chills in the abyss, which is already a bad sign.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, she's kind of like, her whole thing is about corruption and not so much infiltration, that's a lot of Zahir as well, but pretty much the entire Underdark Drow community are Lolth supporters. So that's when the dynasty broke away from that. They went they moved upstate. And they're like, we don't want any of this anymore. We found the light. Yeah, that's it. It's Lolth, as written in Wizard of the Coast, is the most evil you can be.
Well,
she is
good to know.
Not good.
Gotcha.
And not so much. She's not necessarily mad, but like I said, she lives in the abyss. So it's I'd trust Asmodeus over her, because at least Asmodeus has some order to him. Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, nothing good to come from this vestige. That's plain and simple.
Not.
But then, oh man, I'm more curious about this crew from the Blight Star. That's what I'm curious about. Like, why did they have this? Who was it for? Did they just steal it? Were they hiding it because they were killed? Yeah.
Was it? What was it? And who were the people that tried to attack them in the warehouse? Was that the Nameless ones, or was that?
I think that was the Nameless one.
But how could they disappear? They had like they looked like shadows, and then they.
Don't know.
And who
His
did
Posca's related to
crater? Because there was a fight at the crater. Because they said like we're familiar with this sort of thing. I don't know. Okay, it was the Nameless ones at the crater, we feel.
Yeah.
But then why did they attack them?
What's their What's their deal? What's happening? What is happening?
Oh my god.
Again, like as we were saying last week, the Nameless ones might not have known who they were. So like, we have infiltrators in our warehouse. We gotta stop them.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know.
But weren't they attacked by something outside the warehouse, and that's when they ran in? Like, wasn't it when they opened the box and the shadow appeared? I thought I remember them saying a shadow kind of falls out of the box, and that's what attacked them. I might have to rewatch it again.
Yeah, I might have to as well. I don't know. I think we're missing like the one or two pieces that like connects them all together. Like right now we're still in the building stage of the structure of this plot. I think we're still missing a few support beams.
Perhaps the thing that can link them all together is a very well-versed sorcerer.
Yes.
On.
The return. The return of Sean Gilmore swooping in.
Cannot wait for Matt as Darius to interact with Gilmore.
This is gonna be so good.
Sorcerer action. Like, no, but like I think it's gonna be that kind of thing of like this is another powerful magic user.
Yeah.
I mean, Gilmore is older at this point. Like this is 30 years later. So
he's human, right? Gilmore human?
Human, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So he's going to be like in his 60s or like mid 60s. He's going to.
I'm so excited though.
I can't wait. I can't hope he's like happily married and like has some children. Like, wouldn't that be sweet?
That would be. It's been a while since we've seen Gilmore, because he didn't have any Easter eggs in campaign 2, so it's literally been since campaign 1, right?
Yeah.
Or was he in Dalen's closet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As in Darian's closet.
Darian's closet.
What a name! That's not a person.
Canon.
Shit.
Canon.
The D names are becoming the V names. Like it's taken over.
Yeah. Oh no. But yeah, I'm very excited to see Gilmore again. This is exactly what we needed. Exactly what this is what they needed.
The only thing I could see maybe about if he has a husband or not, that's something that I feel like Matt would be included on in the discussion. Because Gilmore's a guide, he's an NPC you can talk to. But I'm wondering if that's like, if a Bree is going to be like, here are canonical changes to this character. Yeah. But I mean, that happens when you play in a D&D world.
Yeah.
That's also then shown live, or not live, it's also recorded as part of that in-world universe. Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm excited. All right. Did you say Gilmore is not in the guide? Or that he is? Yeah. Okay, he is in the guide. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, when people play the home games, they can meet him see, and whatever you make in that world is reality.
Yeah.
But for this canonical Exandria for Critical Role, it'll be interesting to see what we get of Gilmore.
Yeah, super excited. We'll get to find out next week. That's probably gonna be one of the first things they do, since I mean they need to make allies in the city now. Since I mean they murdered a bunch of people and they're probably not in.
Yeah, I was just thinking that there's something I like about Abria's style is, and it might just be because of the short nature of this campaign, but the way she uses time or the way she like moves through time is nice and quick. So like they don't spend time traveling and they don't worry so much about resting. Like they had that conversation. They did have some checks while resting, but it's very much like after the break, it was like they're leaving him on, then the break. Hey, you're here, kind of thing. Or like, they not getting bogged down in the travel. Which I wish I could do as a DM, but I like the traveling.
I know. Traveling is one of my favorite parts of D&D.
Yeah. It's good for this, I think, because I think if we had an episode of them traveling from Imon to the Fire Shari, it would have been death. So
probably.
So yeah, I like that they're kind of streamlining that aspect a bit. I do like traveling though. Traveling's fun.
Yeah. That's because the RP aspect of Dungeons and Dragons has always been my favorite part, and traveling always has the best opportunities for that. And the intimate night watches with one other person and talking about the deep stuff is always the best.
Yeah.
Best. Do we have any other thoughts, feelings, emotions about this episode? Let me take one glance over on my notes just to make sure.
I want to know more about Fearne and how she came through. Well, when she came through, was she sent by her grandmother because her grandmother knew there was some weird fire shit happening?
Yeah.
Like, who is her grandmother? Like.
And the thing that I like most about like short campaigns and stuff is like, as a DM, when the characters are making their backstories and stuff, you can in a way try to make each of their backstories intertwine with the main plot of the campaign.
Yeah.
So all of them could very well be connected in some way to the goings on.
Yeah.
The goings on.
The going ons?
The going
The
ons?
goings on?
Something like that.
I think it's
Because again, all of them have character backstories that they've written. All of them have talked with Abria about, all of their stuff. So Abria may have, been able to work some of their stuff in there. There are probably so many twists and turns that we don't even know about, that are gonna pop up. So
yeah. I just remembered we do know that Fearne came in through Sinkhorn, so she's been here for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's also interesting too, because that's like, well, Sinkhorn, I suppose. I wonder if that's. Do we know where they made the Traveler's Gate? Is that been revealed? I feel
maybe
like
we
it
do.
was, but now I can't remember. Do we know where? Yeah. Do we know where the door for Artigan? I was assumed to be in Amon, but it might have been in like Zephyra. It could have been in Singhorn.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone in chat know? But either way, because it'd be cool if it was that one. No, it doesn't say. Damn it. Yeah, but I want to know more about Fearne. I want to know more about Dorian. Like what's going on with his backstory. Like apart from the bits of kind of like interaction we've seen with other NPCs, not other NPCs, with NPCs, we don't know tons about like his character or about his personality. We've got a sense that he's like, kind of gently exasperated all the time. But we don't really know like what his deal is. Is he a face? Is he kind of like what's he going to be doing? What's like what's he doing?
What's his deal? What's your deal, Dorian?
That's it. What's his deal?
Tell us everything.
That apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, but that Robbie's a new player. Like, this is one of his first characters.
Oh.
In which case is great, because, like, he's got the role play down so well. But I do just want to know more about his character and his backstory.
I know. Dude, they're all so interesting. I'm definitely... I can't wait for the dark side Opal to break through and
That's exciting.
Have all that. There's
Opal
something there.
Is a werewolf.
Heard it here first. Canon. It's happening. And on that banger of a tinfoil hat theory, we are going to call this one a wrap. That will be the last thing you remember from... that is the one takeaway from this podcast. It's that Opal is a werewolf. Canon. Yeah. It's happening.
Started here. The theory started here.
Yeah, you heard it here first. But yeah, that's gonna about do it for our discussion for Exandria Unlimited Episode 2. As always, thank you all so much for stopping by, hanging out, chit-chatting with us. Thank you to everyone who participated in the live chat and who's going to be watching this on YouTube or listening in on Spotify, Anchor, or wherever else this podcast may find itself. And of course, as always, don't forget to love each other, spread the love to everyone you meet, everyone you see. The world needs more love in it, but most importantly, don't forget to love yourself. That is the most important thing you can do, so make sure you're taking care of yourself. Eat some food, drink some water, get plenty of rest. You deserve it, and I'm proud of you for being here with us. So, with all of that being said, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your morning, day, evening, wherever you may be on this glorious earth. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.